Are you worried about your 12th Science HSC board exams? It's perfectly understandable if you are. After all, these exams are a significant milestone in your academic journey, a stepping stone to your future. The anticipation, the build-up, it can be quite overwhelming, can't it? But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. These exams, as important as they are just another challenge to overcome. And like any challenge, it requires a well-thought-out strategy, a game plan, if you will. In the next few minutes, we'll be exploring exactly that. We'll delve into the heart of the matter, demystifying the process and breaking it down into manageable chunks. So whether you've got 2 months or 3, whether you're aiming for a 99% score or just looking to pass with flying colors, we've got you covered. Fear not, this video is here to guide you step by step on how to prepare for your exams. The first step in conquering any challenge is understanding it. When it comes to acing your 12th grade Science HSC board exam, knowing your syllabus and the exam pattern is the key. The syllabus isn't just a list to check off. It's a map leading you to success. It's crucial to understand the weightage of different sections and topics. Some areas might seem vast but carry less weightage, while others may seem smaller but hold more significance. Understanding the exam pattern will help you strategize. Knowing how many questions come from each section, the marks distribution, and the type of questions, whether they are multiple choice, short answer, or essay, will allow you to prepare effectively. It will help you manage your time and efforts wisely, focusing on areas that will yield the highest marks. Remember, a well-understood enemy is half the battle won. Now that you understand what you're up against, it's time to plan your attack. The first step in this strategic maneuver is creating an effective study schedule. A study schedule is more than just a list of subjects and the time you'll spend on each. It's a reflection of your goals, your abilities, and your commitment. It's a blueprint that, if followed diligently, will lead you to your destination. Acing your 12th Science HSC board exam. Start with setting realistic goals. Ask yourself, what do you want to achieve in these next 2 months? Do you want to master all the topics in your syllabus or focus on your weak areas? Your goals will guide your study schedule, so make sure they're clear, achievable, and measurable. Next, allocate time for each subject and topic. This isn't a one-size-fits-all process. Some topics might be more challenging and require more time, while others you might grasp quickly. Consider factors like the weightage of each topic in the exam, your understanding of the subject, and the amount of practice you need. Remember, your study schedule should be balanced. Don't cram all the difficult topics into one day or week. Spread them out interspersed with easier ones. This way, you'll keep your momentum going without feeling overwhelmed. Now, let's talk about breaks. Yes, you heard it right, breaks. Contrary to popular belief, they are not a waste of time. In fact, they're crucial for maintaining your mental agility. Your brain needs time to absorb new information, and breaks provide just that. So, include short breaks after every hour or 2 of studying and longer breaks for meals and relaxation. Lastly, keep track of your progress. This will not only help you stay motivated, but also allow you to adjust your schedule if needed. Make sure to review your study schedule weekly and make any necessary adjustments. Remember, the goal is not to study hard, but to study smart. An effective study schedule is not set in stone. It's flexible, adaptable, and tailored to your needs. An effective study schedule is your roadmap to success. So, chart your path wisely and embark on your journey to conquer the 12th Science HSC board exam. Having a plan is great, but how do you execute it effectively? Let's delve into some effective study techniques that can boost your understanding and retention of material. First off, there's active recall. This technique involves actively trying to remember information without looking at the source. For instance, after reading a chapter on the laws of motion, close your book and jot down everything you remember. This exercise strengthens your memory and recall abilities. Next up, let's talk about spaced repetition. Studies show that we tend to forget information over time, but we can counteract this by reviewing the material at increasing intervals. So, instead of cramming all your physics concepts in one day, spread them out. Review them after 1 day, then after 3 days, then after a week, and so on. This method reinforces your memory and helps information stick for longer. Now, let's move on to mnemonic devices. These are techniques that use associations to memorize information. They can be acronyms, visual images, rhymes, or even songs. For instance, to remember the colors of the spectrum, you could use the acronym ROIGBIV, which stands for red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Mnemonics are particularly useful for memorizing lists or sequences. It's important to remember that not every technique will work for everyone. You might find that you remember things better when you write them down, or perhaps you're more of an auditory learner and prefer to listen to lectures. The key is to experiment with different methods and find what works best for you. Finally, don't forget to review and revise. It's easy to read a chapter and feel like you've mastered it, but the real test is whether you can still remember the concepts after a few days or weeks. Regular revision is crucial to ensure that the information stays fresh in your mind. Remember, studying smart is just as important as studying hard. You've studied the material, but how do you know you've really got it? Well, the answer is simple. Practice, practice, and practice some more. You see, understanding the theory is just the first step. Applying that theory, testing your knowledge, and refining your understanding. That's where the real learning happens. Let's start with past papers. These are gold mines of information. They give you a clear picture of the type of questions that are asked, how they are framed, and the level of complexity you can expect. But more than that, they give you an opportunity to apply what you've learned in a realistic setting. So don't just read them, solve them, and solve them as if you're sitting in the examination hall. Time yourself, write complete answers, and then review your work critically. Next up are mock tests. These are simulated exams that mimic the real thing. They test your knowledge, your understanding, and your ability to manage time effectively. Taking mock tests regularly will help you get comfortable with the exam format, and it will also help you identify areas where you need to focus more. Remember, it's not just about getting the right answers, it's also about getting them in the right amount of time. And lastly, don't underestimate the power of self-assessment. This involves taking a step back, looking at your work, and asking yourself, did I understand this concept correctly? Could I explain it to someone else? Did I make any mistakes? If so, why? And how can I avoid them in the future? This kind of reflective practice helps you learn from your mistakes and strengthens your understanding. But remember, practicing doesn't mean cramming. It's not about how many hours you put in, but how effectively you use those hours. So take breaks, give your mind time to absorb what you've learned, and then go back and practice some more. And finally, don't be too hard on yourself. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not know everything. What's important is that you're learning, you're growing, and you're getting better every day. Practice is the key to confidence and success. So keep practicing, keep learning, and you'll be ready to ace that exam. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Remember? Well, it's not just about being dull. Your health, rest, and relaxation play a significant role in your overall performance, especially during the crunch time of exams. You might think that those extra hours you're spending on studies by compromising your sleep or skipping meals will give you an edge. Unfortunately, that's a myth. Your brain is like any other muscle. It needs time to rest and rejuvenate. Getting a good night's sleep is essential. It helps your brain consolidate the information you've studied during the day. Make sure you're getting at least 8 hours of sleep every night. Don't forget to fuel your body with nutritious food. Your brain needs energy to function at its best. And yes, take breaks. Short breaks during study sessions can significantly improve focus and productivity. Finally, incorporate some form of physical activity into your daily routine. It can be as simple as a brisk walk or a few stretches. Remember, your health and well-being are just as important as your studies. As we approach the end of this guide, let's quickly recap. We began by understanding the challenge ahead, acknowledging the significance of the 12th Science HSC board exams. We then moved on to the importance of knowing your syllabus and exam pattern, which is your roadmap to success. Next, we discussed the crucial task of creating a study schedule. Remember, balance is key. You need to allocate time for each subject, but also for breaks and relaxation. Then, we delved into effective study techniques. From active recall to spaced repetition, these methods can greatly enhance your learning efficiency. We also highlighted the value of practice. Regular self-assessments using past papers can help you gauge your progress and identify areas for improvement. Lastly, we emphasized the importance of maintaining good health and relaxation. Stress management and adequate rest are as essential as your studies. Armed with these strategies, you are now ready to conquer your 12th Science HSC board exams. Best of luck!